All right, guys, we are live here yet again on the blue track, racing the Fairview IT Management Cup Series here at Lanes Raceway. We only got two more races left to go for the night, and this is the Fairview IT Cup Series. The guys have voted; they're not running the oval whatsoever in this series this week or this season, so it's all going to be done on the blue track. So maybe give people a little bit more experience on the blue track. Everybody has passed tech. Here we go. Randy Kirtley on red lane, Jay Latham on white, Guillermo Sire on green, Josh Reinerson on orange, Nathaniel Burden on blue, Glenn Burden on yellow, Gunnar Bender on purple, Gabriel Kirtley on black. Racers, watch your lights. Here we go. Three strikes are out. Same stuff as always. I believe the chat is on and open as we get this thing started here. And of course, the middle rung there yet again causing trouble. So we did have a change in rule. Everybody voted on it, and everybody gave their consensus that it was good. Jay Latham going to get a strike here. Uh, the resistance of an Eagle motor has changed from zero point 0.4 to 0.3 as the lowest. So Guillermo Sire will get his points. And we got Gunnar Bender taking a strike here. That's on purple. But this is all kind of new stuff. Nobody in slot cars is doing what we're doing, trying to make it as equal as we can. There is some variances in between these motors. Sometimes you get a real jewel, sometimes you don't. But we have been noticing how some of these cars are getting a little bit warm, getting wore in, and then they're dropping to a 0.4. So we're going to do it to a 0.3, and we'll see how it goes from there. So Jay Latham and Nathaniel Burden. And Nathaniel there on blue. As we already got a couple more people coming off. That's Nathaniel there again coming off. So we'll see Nathaniel getting another strike. So two strikes Nathaniel, two strikes Jay Latham currently. They got used to the 72 pitch, now back on the 64 pitch, 332nd axle Eagle motor in the back of these cars. Champion TurboFlex chassis. A little bit rougher for sure. So Bo learning the rules here. Bo's helping track marshal here. We appreciate that. As we got Gunner with another strike here. Gunnar Bender there on purple. That's his second strike. As we get Jay Latham with his third. That's three for Jay. You're on white lane? That's three. You got the same car? Okay, so I need to give one to Guillermo then. Okay. All right, folks. So Guillermo and Jay evidently have the same color car. Full red lights dropping out to green. Here we go. And that one's Josh Reinerson's going to take a strike on orange, his first. And Jay got his third. And it looks like Gunner got his third too. So there's getting a yellow flag here. Got another one there in the middle lane there. That's either Glenn or Randy. They got bodies that look very similar too. It looks like Randy's going to take a strike on that one. car coming off on the inside corner. It's the tied car of Josh Ryerson. Gonna take a strike. And the red flag button's been pushed for Gabriel Kirtley. He's going to try to fix his car. He's got 1 minute and 20 seconds to do so. We'll be right back with you. All right, here we go. That 1 minute is up. As you can hear the siren in the background. 4 red lights are dropping out to green. Gabriel Kirtley almost got it done in time, it looked like. So he come off 2 wins. Most likely not going to win the old NASCAR race here, as he's having some issues with the old NASCAR. As we see another car coming here. And it looks to be Josh's third here. I almost think we would have probably done a little bit better on the oval. But at least the guys are not tearing their bodies up. 4 red lights are dropping out to green. Here we go. We now have 4 cars on the track. Randy Kirtley, Guillermo Sire, Nathaniel Burden, and Glenn Burden. Of course, 3 of these guys pretty strong at keeping the cars on. Glenn, of course, having a little trouble early on this heat, or early on in the races today. But it looks like he's got his stuff back in decent order. This will be Glenn's first strike. They're on yellow. Four red lights dropping out to green. Here we go. Current strikes a lot. That's about all I can say. And we got another one off. And that is Glenn. I'm starting to regret my choice of making 2 bodies so similar. It's hard to see them from here. Huh? Dude, I've ate one time. I've had 2 or 3 bottles of water. I'm ready for tomorrow. Let me put it that way. I'm ready for a day off. I'm tired. We get a car. Gabriel's getting his car put back on, but it needs to go to the start finish line. I don't know what he's checking here. But if he wants to give himself a little bit of a disadvantage, we're cool with that. So I guess that's Nathaniel's car coming off for the 3rd time. So we'll go ahead and give Nathaniel. It's been a brutal heat. Some of the worst action of NASCAR we've seen. 3 guys still on: Glenn, Randy, and Guillermo. As we get a yellow flag here, we see Gabriel Kirtley's car coming off. That'll be his first strike. All right, that's a red flag rotation, and Guillermo Sire is going to hold down the lead here as we clear all the strikes. A whole lot more red than there is white currently on this board. Now cleared back to white. Take a look here at the track mate. Guillermo Sire, your leader right now, 17 laps, 16 for Randy. Glenn, 15, 12 for Nathaniel, 9 for Gabriel, 8 for Josh, 1 for Jay. And here we go. let you watch these guys work. We'll be right back with you. All right, here we go, folks. 2 seconds, and we'll be back. Full red lights dropping out to green. What a rough start to the NASCAR race here on the blue track. Josh Ryerson come up to me during the break. He's like, when are we getting the lapel mics for the racers? And I really want to do that. Right now, money's a little bit tight. I thought my brother had one. A couple setups that we could get hooked up into the live stream. I'm just glad right now we got the live stream rolling, but we will definitely do that in the future because, you know, that way you can hear the guys talking. Now that's going to be a strike for Glenn, and I always find that a little extra flavor goes a long way. Now I could, I guess, technically turn on the microphone on the cameras, and you could hear them, but that'll be some rough audio, folks. I don't know if you'd like to hear that or not. It'd be very staticky and echoey. So I've had it on and I did a recording. I didn't like the way it sounded, so I kind of backed it off and muted it out. But nonetheless, Jay, that your car? Okay, Jay's gonna get a strike. Full red lights drop out to green. Here we go. A very big difference from this this race to the other. So we got Gunner and Glenn. Jay was just going to add a little extra pepper to Glenn's. So it'll be Glenn's second, Gunner's first. See if I can lower the 4 crown sign here just a little bit so you can see everybody's heads. And we're into a red flag again as we get a car to come off somewhere. Glenn's. Glenn throwing up the Hawaii symbol, I guess, hang 10. And he's going to go see what's up with his car. But that's 3 strikes for him. 3 rolling around to the back stretch there as we see flipping it up. We get a car come off in Dead Man's Corner. Going to be Gunner going to take a strike there, his second. Full red lights are dropping out yet again. Chat is live. If you got questions, want to know about the race or anything associated with Lanes Raceway, I'll have to set up here a little bit. This is currently our third race of the evening. We got one more after this. It's going to be the wing car, and I believe it's on the orange track. So a little change of scenery for sure. But as you can see, these guys enjoying themselves on the new track. They just want to keep running it, get the rhythms down and stuff. Got a little bit of a pack going there as we see a car getting a little bit of cross-sectional action there coming around the horseshoe. Now, that's going to be the third one there for Gunner as he's going to set the remainder of the heat out, and we move on into the next one here. Now, there was another car come off. That is Guillermo going to take a strike. So now I know the difference between Jay and Guillermo's. Guillermo's got like a white little sticker on his. That'll be a strike for him. 51 seconds left in the heat. And we see Gabriel Kirtley's car coming off there in the second to the last corner there. So he'll receive a strike there on yellow, his first. So still cold here in Lanes Raceway, but Gabriel brought a couple space heaters today till we got the heat turned back on. So we're pretty excited about the heat getting turned on Monday. Actually, I might have to be here in the morning to turn it or open the doors to let them turn it on. The yellow flag here. Now, I don't know whose car come off on this one. Oh, there, it's right there in the corner. So that's going to be Josh Reinerson's car. And I hear the siren, so somebody is going to do some work. And that's going to be Gabriel Kirtley. So this will be Gabriel's second track call. And he's going to get a gear real quick. He's going to put it on his tab. He's going to try to get it swapped out. So we'll be back with you here shortly. All right, here we go. 29 seconds left to go. Gabriel back in the nick of time. That is his second use, so he cannot hit the button anymore um, for the remainder of the race. So hopefully he got his gear in order there. 4 red lights dropping out to green. Guillermo Sire back up on top. 32 laps. Randy Kirtley 31 as they battle it out. And they did a enduro race with Josh Reinerson. Josh Reinerson's enduro race during Halloween. And his team ended up winning, him and Glenn Burden. So that's going to be Jay going to receive a strike. That'll be his second. Ten seconds left to go. Ooh, and a car gets shunted there to the outside. That's going to be Nathaniel going to take a hit there. Nathaniel Burden, that's his first strike. Nathaniel real good about keeping his car on here in this series. I've noticed since he's been down here at Lanes Raceway, keeping his car on, making laps, and we can see it's working out for him. He's currently in third position here with 27 total laps. The tortoise and the hare adage, I guess you would say. Keep it on, don't wreck. Because, I mean, 7 seconds a lap, that's harsh. Now, that was a hard hit from somebody, and I mean a tremendously hard. And that will be Randy Kirtley. He's going to take his first strike. He's going to want to look at that car. we had lapel mics, you could hear what these guys are talking about right now, but they're basically talking about how he hammered down hardcore to slam that wall. Full red lights dropping out to green. We're going back racing. Right now we got two people out, Gunner and Glenn. Everybody else in the race. Two strikes though with Jay, and we're going to round it up there. So another red strike frenzy for sure. So we head over here to the track mate. We take a look here. Guillermo Sire out in the lead, 35 laps, 17.5 on average, 34 laps. Randy Kirtley, 17 on average. And to round up your top three, Nathaniel Burden, 27 with 13.5 on average. So he's got a little ground to make up there. Gabriel Kirtley, 26 laps, 24 for Josh Reinerson. Tied Jay Latham and Glenn Burden with 15 and 7 laps for Gunnar Binder. All of these laps are going to cumulative for the Four Crowns to crown us a king of Lanes Raceway. So, you know, if they make every single race, there is no drops in the cumulative amount of laps that you can get here. So you want to make every race if you want to be the king. Now, you can still be a crown holder here, or a Lord of Lanes Raceway as we call it, because we do have half of the races as drops. So every how many that we run, let's say we run 8 races, there'll be 8 drops. So for a total of 16 weeks, minus holidays and stuff like that. So at the end of it, you know, you could pull away, get a couple crowns, but to be the king, you need to turn the most laps, and you'll want to hit every single race that you can, because those will all be added up. Pictures taken, of course, of those and printed out every week. And whoever has the most at the end is going to be King of Lanes Raceway. Last year it was Jay Latham, and we actually did it a little different. So we're doing a point system on the series. So we got 4 different series here, 4 different crowns, as you say. And it'll be 100, 95, 90, 85, 80, and that's how the points go. But the laps are counted up to crown this year, where last year we did laps per lap. So it was about how many laps you turned. It didn't matter what position you finished as long as you turned laps, and whoever won it was always based off laps. But now only thing that's based off laps is kingship. So whoever turns the most out of all 4 is the king, or queen if we had a woman. But I don't think we have a woman in this series currently. So, but nonetheless, we're looking for one. So get us a queen here to beat these guys and shut them up. Sometimes they uh, talk back and forth about different things, and that's why we have a lot of the times we have a change in some of the rules. So these guys, they make votes as we go along. Now, you know, we don't have like a rock solid rule set, because we're trying to do things different here. We're trying to come up with different things to make things work perfect. Really, guys, if you would please say a prayer for fellow friend and slot car racer Ken Willett, as he's currently in the hospital. Please say a prayer for him. He's a real close friend to us, and we want to make sure that he gets out of there safe and sound. My wife just gave me that info. She come over here and gave it to me pretty urgently. Some of his family just came in. We were worried to death about him. So definitely, he comes in here and races big wing cars every Saturday. Usually comes from Evansville. So just remember him in your prayers. Ken Willett, please remember him in your prayers. Good friend of ours. All right, so here we go. Right now, first strike's going to go to Gunnar Vender, and that's going to be on yellow lane, and also Glenn Burden on white lane. So we got a yellow flag here. Car coming off the lane here. Jay Latham going to snag it up. And that's going to be Jay Latham taking a strike on green lane. So that's going to be a strike for Randy Kirtley. Minute 35 seconds left in the heat. We got another wreck already in the middle lane as we see Bo McPherson giving a gentle toss. We got another one coming from the other side by Guillermo on him. So that's going to be Glenn Burden and Gunnar Bender. So we got 2 strikes now, Glenn, 2 strikes Gunnar, 1 strike Randy, 1 strike Jay. Everybody else with no strikes currently. Time is 6:13 here in Livermore, Kentucky. A crisp night, to say the least. I'm over here by the door. I can tell it's a little chilly. Jay Latham's going to take another strike here. That'll be his second. And it looks like Gunnar Bender there going to take his 3rd strike. As we move on, 4 red lights dropping out to green. It's unlike Gunnar. He's usually very, very crisp on the blue track, turning the most laps here. But he's having a little bit of luck like Glenn did last week. And it happens sometimes. But you got to take it in stride. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. And just come back better next week. As we see Glenn Burden unhooking his. So we're going to see Glenn setting out 2 here. Jay Latham there with 2 strikes now. 1 strike for Randy. Everybody else no strikes. As we got a yellow flag here, 37 laps or 37 seconds left to go. 47 laps for Guillermo Sire currently in the lead. And we can see Nathaniel Burden there going to take a strike. He's on purple, his first. Nathaniel and Gabriel currently battling it out for 3rd position. Gabriel currently now taking over 3rd position. Currently the best lap turned right now, 3.298 from Gabriel Kirtley. He's really hauling the mail now. Whatever he's done to that car, he's got it working out. As we get that'd be Randy Kirtley coming off. That'll be his 2nd strike. And we get a yellow flag. Gabriel Kirtley is going to have a wreck here. And that is going to be his first. And everybody made it about a car length there with what was left. We'll go ahead and clear these strikes out. Take a look here at the track mate. You see Guillermo's tire out in the lead by 2 laps, 17.7 on average with 53 total laps. Randy Kirtley 51 on average, 17. And third position, Gabriel Kirtley 44 on average, 14.7. Now Nathaniel's in fourth with 43, 41 for Josh Reinerson, 29 for Jay, 21 for Glenn, and 11 for Gunner. Take a look over here at the main screen here. Don't forget our sponsors for this race, Fairview IT Management and Subway Group 20 Wing Car coming up next. Gotta try to find a picture actually. Let's go ahead and copy that. Paste that baby up. There we go. Yeah, we rep the old Fairview IT Cup Series here, folks. The pinball machine scared Gerald a little bit. It screamed, "Don't!" Gerald, he kind of got shook there for a second. Minute and 30 seconds. We'll be right back with you. All right, 4 red lights are dropping out. Glenn's getting his car fixed. He's coming around there. Took him a little bit more time than what we give. To receive our first strike here. And that is going to be Nathaniel Burton going to take a strike on yellow lane. If you got any questions or anything you want to know about slot car racing, what we're doing here, 3 strikes, you're out. So if the wrecks are strikes, if you wreck and come off, you get a strike, you get 3, you come off, and you kind of get out of everybody's way, especially guys that have issues with their cars. Now, once they get their cars worked out and they get them finely tuned, you'll see a lot of these guys get quite a bit smooth, but it's usually towards about mid-season. This is a brand new track for them, so they're having some issues. As we see Gunner here, he's having some issues tonight. Not really normal for Gunner to have so many issues as he runs a lot on this blue track. But tonight he might be in his own head a little bit, having a lot of trouble here in the past couple races. You guys know Gunner, if you've watched him race here before, you know he's pretty solid when it comes to racing, especially on the flat track here, as he's put the most time in out of any racer here so far. Randy Kirtley, of course, probably be about second as we see Gabriel Kirtley's car coming off here. Gabriel Kirtley currently in third position. And he's been running pretty strong here today, but he's had gear issues. He's had a couple gears go out, and he's had to use both of his track button calls which we give the guys 2 per race to fix any kind of gear. Give them 30 seconds to get their car, 30 seconds to get a gear, 30 seconds to put it on. Now, I know you're thinking, well, who can get all that done in that amount of time? It's not really meant for that, but it's kind of to soften the shock buffer, especially if you're running for the lead and a lot of stuff's going on. It still gives you a chance because, these things happen. It's what they call a freak of nature, I guess you would say. So Jay Latham here going to receive a strike on blue. That'll be his first. But nonetheless, it's all about keeping the spirit of racing high and keeping the guys wanting to race high and giving them the best opportunity they can. Now, a lot of places be running live tracks and stuff like that, but then you run into a whole big bunch of other issues running live track. That's the normalcy of what happens in a lot of places. We're not trying to be normal here by no means, but we want to try to make it better, kind of push it into the 21st century if we can. So every one of these racers have a button in front of their driver station to kill the track so they don't get their cars hit, tore up, mangled, or whatever it may be. And then when that gets hit, it kills the track. So any cars that come off at that time will end up getting a strike. So Gunner there end up taking his third strike. Glenn is going to take his first. Like I said, Gunner having a rough time here right now, so I'll say a prayer there for Gunner, strengthen him, and maybe he can get a little bit tougher here and roll out of this on the high side. But it's a good thing to learn from for sure. Live tracks though, the issues I've found, growing up with live tracks is you have a few guys that are exceptionally good. I've talked about this with Josh Ryerson. Josh Ryerson right now actually taking a strike. That you have a few guys that are really good at track marshaling, and they give it their all, and you expect that in return. But then you'll get some guys that'll slow walk your car. In other words, like not try to get you put back on quick, and it ruins the race for you. And they didn't really win the race, because they slow walked your car, and they know it. Everybody knows it. So at the end of the day, whoever wins these races, we know actually won it. Let's see. So right now, that's going to be a strike there for Glenn. That'll be his second. The 3 strikes is just basically, you got 3 chances to keep your car on the track. If you're not keeping your car on by 3 chances within a 2-minute heat, you got stuff going on, or you're pushing your car too hard past the tires, or it's a many of things, that could go wrong. So just like baseball, 3 strikes you're out. Here in racing, 3 strikes you're out too. Guys don't tend to have a big issue with it because we race so much races in one day here that we just move right on. And of course, the majority of them, if not all of them right now, currently are members here at Lanes Raceway. So that'll be a strike for Jay and Guillermo here. So Jay there with 2 strikes, Guillermo with 1. And as you can see, it's not every heat that you see somebody go out. But here recently on the blue track, people still learning it. It has been a little bit more prevalent. People trying to find the rhythm, trying to find their braking zones and stuff like that. Trying to be faster than other people, passing each other on the outside, kind of coasting in with people. And all these things cause these wrecks to take place. So until they really get that under their belt and turn more laps on this track, we're going to see more of the same, and a lot of this stuff's going to take place. But in the end, it makes for really good racing. These guys, they're not trying to push harder than they should because they get unlimited amount of putbacks. So we'll see Glenn and Gabriel Kirtley is going to get a strike there. So Gabriel's second. Now that will be Glenn Burden's third. Of course, Glenn having some trouble here with his NASCAR. Glenn's had a little bit better luck in the other series, but this series here has been giving him a little bit of trouble here. But get it figured out, get it worked on, and I'm sure he'll be back next Sunday trying to race. I talked to him last night. I said, Glenn, you gonna be here tomorrow? You just leave your box out. He goes, I can't believe you'd ask me such a question. So then after I said it, I kind of realized, yeah, I can't believe I said that either, because he's here every day. He is a blessing to us here at Lanes Raceway, and we're thankful for him. So we see Josh Reinerson there going to take a strike 2 there on green. Now that's his second too, so a lot of seconds here. Let's just go over them real quick. Gabriel Kirtley with 2, Josh Reinerson with 2, Jay Latham with 2, 1 for Nathaniel, and 1 for Guillermo Sire. Currently, the only one with no strikes is Randy Kirtley as we roll in out of this heat and into the next. We'll go ahead and clear these strikes and take a look here at the track mate. Right now, Guillermo Sire is holding on to the lead by 1 lap. 70 laps total there for Guillermo Sire, averaging 17.5. Randy Kirtley was 69 total, averaging 17.2. Gabriel Kirtley there is 61. He's about 8 laps down. He's had a lot of trouble early on. As you can see, that 9 there on black, having to fix his gears and stuff. 61. So he's 8 laps down. He's got to make those up somehow. 15.2. Nathaniel Burden, 59. 58 for Josh Reinerson. 42 for Jay Latham. 30 for Glenn Burden. And 17 for Gunnar Vender. We're going to head on back over here to the main scene here. And don't forget our sponsor for this series, Fairview IT Management Cup Series. Now, since the iteration of Lanes Raceway, we've always had a Fairview IT Cup Series, or what a lot of people would call, fast NASCAR or something, 4-inch NASCAR. And it's a 4-inch TurboFlexi chassis with an Eagle motor from Mid-America. And it's open gear ratio, open tire, and the guys run usually Ralph Thorne bodies or Mid-America bodies, and they kind of make them look like NASCARs. But nonetheless, we call it the Fairview IT Management Cup Series, sponsored by Fairview IT. They sponsor $1,000 to the racers pot here for the 4 Crowns, and we're thankful for that. And they're very good behind the computer desk too. All of our system, chat, everything else is been configured and done by them. All of our TVs are linked together so we can put any track we want on any TV, any race we want on any TV, while simultaneously having movies and everything else. All of it linked in with that. Our pinball machines are even linked in over the network to give you top scores, and that's all thanks to Fairview IT Management. And it was nice because they did it on house. They actually come in and did it for us for free. They believe in the racing spirit, I guess. Plus, he's my brother, so I guess being half owner of Lanes Raceway helps. But we're thankful for Gabe. We're thankful for all these guys out here helping race. And anyways, we'll be back in about 45 seconds. All right, here we go. 4 red lights are dropping out to green. Just talked to Brian here. He says, man, we're on the struggle bus tonight. And it's like I told him, it's like it's yin, the yang, the AC theory, all that stuff. Sometimes you up, sometimes you down. It's just a way of life. You just gotta kind of take it as it's not good, but it's not bad. It's just life. Everything is for a purpose. I really believe that. I think the good Lord made us that way. So Gunnar and Guillermo are going to take strikes there. Guillermo Sire. So Gunnar definitely having some issues there with his car. And you hate to see it because, you see these guys can't not keeping the cars where they need to be, and you want to see them do good, and it happens. Like I've been extremely excited for Nathaniel these past few weeks because he's got cars that are staying on, and see Nathaniel's had trouble like that in the past, but man, he's been able to keep his car on tight. He's been fast. And he's increasing his speed now as we see him come around the second to the last corner here, fixing to make a pass there on White Lane. And, I like to see him advance and get better and better as him and it looked like Guillermo kind of got into each other there a little bit. But Nathaniel's progressing really good. Gunnar has been doing nothing but progressing since he's first got here. And every week he gets better. Right now, I mean, even though his car is not in good shape, he is getting better dealing with a broken car. That's how you kind of look at it. Nathaniel Burden there on orange going to take a strike, and so is Jay Latham on purple. I find if you kind of think of it like that, that's kind of how I always taught myself to race slot cars. When me and my brother was in the basement, of course my brother now coming off, speaking of him, Gabriel Kirtley going to take a strike. Way we would do it, and it helps to have a brother really that's into the same stuff as you. So we would get down in the basement and we wouldn't try to wreck each other, but instead we would try to turn the fastest lap that we've ever turned, and we'd write it down, and then we'd try to beat that lap, and we'd try to beat that lap, and we would get side by side. We'd be going into corners together, and we would try to literally not wreck each other so that we could bring those skills to the actual racetrack. And you know, it developed over time, and we never thought we was going to be able to beat Dad. Well, we got really good down there, and then it was just like, man, we just started beating him on a regular basis. So now we can see Gabriel and Randy Kirtley there battling out. Randy's got the advantage today, but we're going to see Randy actually take a strike here. That's our dad, by the way. He's going to take one, and we're also going to see Nathaniel take another strike too with Glenn. So a lot of 2 strikes already. But a lot of good memories back then. I remember going and racing at Slot City in Owensboro, and like the #1 song that was on was me, Jay, Gabriel, and Daniel Taylor. The #1 song that would come on was Lou Vega's Mumbo #5, and we'd listen to that. So I don't know, just really good memories, and a lot of Pink Floyd for sure too. As we see Nathaniel surprisingly coming off, this is probably the first time in a couple weeks that we've actually seen Nathaniel wreck out. So you know, tides are turning here a little bit. Like I said, the little yang action. You know, sometimes you're on the mountain, sometimes you're in the valley. It's what you do when you're there that's the most important. Glenn Burden going to receive a strike. That's going to be his second. So right now, just to go over the strikes currently, Gunner, I guess out. I must have missed him. But 2 strikes for Glenn, 1 strike yellow for, oops, 1 strike yellow for Guillermo, 1 strike purple for Jay, 1 strike black for Randy, 1 strike red for Gabriel. So we get a yellow flag here, and that will be Randy Kirtley taking another strike here. And that'll be his second. So now Randy Kirtley on black with 2 strikes. So we'll see how things change as we progress here. But this is becoming a little bit harder of a road course for the Champion Turboflex than most see. Gunner brought up an interesting point earlier when he come up here. He says when the track call gets hit, if you're on a straight stretch, you just go flying. And that is the case. You know, when the track call gets hit, all power to the track stops. So whatever you can't bleed off into the braid, you know, you go flying. It is one of the negatives of that. Now we're going to see Jay Latham here going to take a strike. That would be his second too. So a lot of twofers going around here. Well, maybe Nathaniel, he's going ahead and hooking up on white lane. He's getting ready for next lane. So he did actually get 3 strikes. But you can see when they come around that backstretch, the backstretch there's a little bit of curve in it. And if you're carrying a lot of momentum through there, see like that right there, you just seen the coast there from Guillermo Sire right to the line. If that's right at the end, you're going to come off. And you don't know when that track call is going to get hit. It's the luck of the draw. So you can't really look at it like it's bad luck or good luck. It's just what's happening. You're caught in a position in time and space that just matches up with people not having good luck. You know, they're pushing their car too hard past the tires. They're, you know, not hitting their braking points. They're learning the track. They're pushing it a little too deep in the corner. Many things can go like that, and that's what ends up happening. So if you can keep your calm and cool about it, kind of like how Randy does, and just, you know, just go with the flow. You know, what is Bruce Lee says, you know, be water and all that stuff. I don't know if I want to get that mystical about it, but nonetheless, kind of the similar thing. Just kind of go with the flow, bend with it, and you'll end up coming out a lot stronger and be pretty good about it. Guillermo Sire there, 88 laps in the lead right now by 3 to Randy Kirtley. Randy Kirtley in second with 85. Gabriel Kirtley, 78 there in third. Now that's your top 3, so a little bit of spread from third to second there, but second and first battling it out pretty strongly. Fourth position, 77, 1 lap different between Gabriel and Josh. Now these two, man, they are side by side for sure, battling each other all day, and a little bit of trash talking to ensue. 65 laps there for Nathaniel. Jay Latham with 56, 39 Glenn Burden, and 20 laps there for Gunnar Binder. Going to take you over to scene 8, and we will be right back with you. Actually, let me check our, yeah, there we go. Livermore, Kentucky, 270-278-5999, Subway. Give them a call. Get 10% off here at Lanes Raceway, and they are sponsoring our Group 20 Wing Car Series and Fairview IT Management Cup Series. That's what we're at right now on the blue track. We'll be back in a minute and 45 seconds. All right, we see about 3 cars lined up on the start finish line. We see Glenn, Nathaniel, and Gunner there. They were our 3 that crashed out in the previous heat there. We got 10 seconds before we go back green racing. Now Gunner on red lane. We're round robin 6 of 8, 2/3 of the way through this race. We still have one more to come up, and I believe it's going to be on the orange track tonight. Now the orange, of course, still having some issues here. We spent the past week getting the RC track and stuff ready yet again. It's been a undertaker. You can see the RC track there to the right of us. We race one RC here, 1/18 scale stuff, and we're going to start our first race Tuesday, so we're pretty excited about that. We worked some kinks out, got some transponders and stuff. Jackson Darty over there next to Bo McPherson hanging out. So they swap each other up here. We're going to get our first incident here in round robin 6 of 8. Jackson's going to bring the car around, and it looks to be Guillermo Sire coming off there. But it's Jay Latham. Sorry. I got him confused early on. Sorry about that. And also Gunnar Binder here. Of course, he's having one of them nights, guys. When the track goes off, he's caught in it. You know, I was telling him too that you know, some nights you can't miss. Some nights people wreck all around you. It's just like you got a sixth sense, and you go up underneath it, or a guy wrecks behind you, wipes out the whole crew, and you're the last guy standing. It's the same thing, but just in reverse. And if you can just keep you cool under both of them, you know, make you tougher. Don't let yourself vary too far to the left or the right when it comes to the racing, but just stay the same the whole time. If you can do that, keep your mind, mental notes about that, you'd be pretty unshook, I guess you would say. Josh Reinerson and Gunner are going to take his second strike here. Josh Reinerson going to take his first. Let's do a little bit of a different view here. So we got the front view here for a little bit. We'll take a gander at this. Most of our wrecks taking place there in that second loop there of the W, I guess you could call it. Sometimes you get them to pop right there too, as we see Nathaniel there fixing to take a strike. That'd be Nathaniel's first. It's been a while since we've seen Nathaniel go 3 strikes, and he did it last heat. But he's been pretty strong keeping his cars on as of late. for sure. For red lights dropping out to green yet again. Here we go. These guys are racing for 4,000 chuckaroonies, paying out the top 10 positions here in the 4 crowns this year. Got the crowns over there on the counter, so we'll have 4 crowns crowning some racers for the Lords of Plains Raceway, representing each season of the year. And then we also have the King's Crown, and that will go to the most laps turned during the 4 crowns. So here we go. Strikes there for Randy Kirtley, going to take his first. And I believe he's in second, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so he'll take a strike there. And Guillermo Sire there, of course, in first position. As we see a couple cars getting involved in an incident here. 3 cars coming off, so it'll be Randy, Jay, and Guillermo. So I'll be Guillermo's second. Was that, did he wreck a while ago, or was that Jay? That was Jay. That was Jay. Sorry. Jay's got 2. Sorry. Yeah, you got 1. All right. And Randy, sorry. The guys, they're quick on me, boys. They're quick. They hear me say one thing out of place, and they're like, hey, which is good. It's good. That means they're paying attention. They know exactly how many strikes these guys got, and they're honest to a fault. You know, I mean, sometimes, man, they just really don't want to set out, and they got 3, but they all know they got 3. When they got 3, that's our little secret. All right, so we're going to see Gunner here. He's, like I said, he's having some luck tonight for sure. We'll just say luck. We're not going to say it's good or bad. He's going to come over here and hang out with Gunner and Jackson. Sorry, he's going to hang out with Jackson a little bit. They're both over here next to me. You can see in the far right, just under the crown, all 3 of us hanging out over here. And they're watching the live stream and everything. That's going to be a strike there for Gabriel Kirtley on green. That'll be his first. We got about half a heat left to go here in this round robin 6 of 8. Guillermo Sire, your leader right now, 96 total laps, 92 for Randy Kirtley. Gabriel Kirtley, 86. As I see Gabriel coming off in the same corner that he just came out of. So Gabriel Kirtley there going to take his second strike. He's going to have to pipe her down a smidge. Josh Reinerson right there on his tail at 86 laps. I don't know if he passed him or not. We'll take a different look here on the blue track. I think he's safe. Gunner doing a little dance there as he does a little twirl. See you, Jackie. Jackie rolling off the screen too over there. He's been wanting to build him a rail drag car here at Lanes Raceway. So we got him set up with that. We'll try to get him one built up for him. I thought I heard somebody crying. 4 red lights dropping out to green. Here we go. Round robin 6 of 8. Guillermo Sire is your leader right now. Best lap is Josh Reinerson, 6.369. As he moves up into 3rd position, taking over Gabriel Kirtley. Josh Reinerson right now on purple lane with 1 strike, 1 less than Gabriel Kirtley. 44 total laps, or 44 total seconds left to go in the heat. Guillermo Sire just now crossing that 100 mark. See side by side with the blue lane of Glenn Burden as they were neck and neck there for a few seconds. Pretty cool to see. But right now, white lane, Nathaniel, 1 strike. 2 strikes for Gabriel Kirtley on green. 1 strike orange for Guillermo Sire. 0 strikes for Glenn Burden on blue. 2 strikes yellow for Randy Kirtley. 1 strike purple for Josh Reinerson. And 2 strikes Jay Latham on black. Everybody finding their rhythm now, being quite smooth, hitting their braking points. That's the big deal, hitting them brake points, and just keeping that smoothness about it. As we get a red flag rotation, we're going to clear the strikes, and we had quite a few seconds there of people rocking and rolling and keeping it nice and smooth. That was pretty cool to see, actually. As we head over here to the track mate one more time here, we can see 106 total laps. Guillermo Sire, 17.7 on average. 4 laps down from him, Randy Kirtley at 102, 17 total laps. Josh Reinerson there with 95, 15.8. 94 laps there, Gabriel Kirtley at 15.7. 80 laps there for Nathaniel at 13.3. 69 laps at 11.5 for Jay Latham. And Glenn Burden, 54 at 9 laps total. on average. Gunner Vendor 25 at 4.2 on average. Of course, Gunner just having a rough day here. But he's still in good spirits, guys. I wish you could see him on screen right now as we're sitting there talking. He's running, he's gunning. Triggerman Gunner, we call him here. Jay Latham over there in the bottom left screen. He's King of Lanes Raceway currently. We'll see if he can hold on to it. 2 minutes left to go. We're going to leave you guys here for just a second, and we'll be right back with you. Yeah, you think. I'm gonna sit there with you and make you work on it.
Think so?
Oh yeah. 5 seconds before we go back racing. Yeah, I'm gonna make you Dremel it all, cut it all, and I'm gonna sit there and watch it. I'll let you use my tools. I'll let you. We'll sit there together and we'll work on it. Yeah, we can do it on Thanksgiving. We're gonna be here on Thanksgiving, so you know. Yeah, we can sit there. We'll have Dad sit over there with you too. He'll teach you some things. Talking to Jackson, he's got him a new rail car he's excited about. He wants to. Once he says, "I'm gonna make you do it all." I said, "No, you ain't." So Gunner Vendor here going to take a strike here. You know, a lot of the times, guys, they'll see people struggling, having rough times, but then it can easily flip and go the other direction, and it end up landing on them. So, like I said, if you keep your cool, and I guess that's kind of the go-to thing about this race is just keeping your cool, staying somewhat moderate in mindset, just kind of focus nothing on but on your car. Hit those brake points. Uh, be smooth with that trigger. Let those things be running through your mind, and things work out a lot better, in my opinion. Now that's how I race. I always run that stuff through my mind. Like I hold this, and it's a feeling, like a muscle memory. And then I'm smooth, and then I hit it, and I'm smooth. The thing is, you got to fight that inside of you. Josh Reinerson, Randy, and Gunner getting strikes. Josh, Gunner, and Randy. But you got to fight that inner guy that says I can take it just a hair bit faster on that corner. Like you just got to know your comfort zone and be like I can run that consistently above pace, and it's not like super fast. Like it's not breaking records fast, but you're above pace. And if you can do that and keep that, you'll more than likely take the win. Because the guys that are the best in the world that never wreck, they're winning by a lap or two. Uh, and we're talking hundreds of a seconds what separates them from, you know, above pace. So Glenn Burden and Gabriel Kirtley going to take strikes there. That'll be their first strikes. Minute and 31 seconds. left in the heat. We're on round robin 7 of 8 here in the Fairview IT Management Cup Series, and a good time to plug them. They are our sponsors for this series. They've given $1,000 to the racers, and we do appreciate that. We don't take any of the sponsorship money, give it all to the racers, and then on top of that, Lanes Raceway matches it with track bucks. So total up for grabs this season, or this series, is $4,000. Gunner having another rough shot here. And it's his car possibly bent. Something's going on with it, but he's in good spirits about it. It's good to see these in good spirits about it. As he brings his car off the line, he's going to take a look at it for a minute, but he's going to take his third strike there. 1 minute left to go here. And I know Gunner, he'll spend a week over here on this track testing and tuning, getting Brian involved, and they'll get it back in working order here. And it'll be smooth as butter. I've seen it when he's on, boys. He's hard to get. And so we see Guillermo's sire there bursting out in laughter. And we'll see here. We got Frost King. Is it Frost King coming over? So Guillermo and Glenn. Guillermo and Glenn going to take strikes. So it'll be second for Glenn, and Guillermo, that will be his first. 49 seconds left in the heat. Guillermo's holding down pretty strong here in this heat. So we see a nice little coast happening there for one of the cars there at the front. We got Bo McPherson helping track marshal. We appreciate that. He come in to run one of the GRC races. Last week, we didn't have anybody want to run it at the late period. Well, he come in, kind of sad that he didn't get to run it. Josh Reinerson there going to take his second strike. So he's going to have to pipe her down a smidge and keep her in for the next few seconds. But yeah, he wasn't able to run the race because we ran it early because we had about 3 or 4 guys here that wanted to run it. And last time we waited too long and everybody just went home and it was just Gerald. And Gerald's like, well, I ain't going to run it. But he paid, so he got his points. As they got the button pressed, hard hit, that's Glenn Burden. Let's see. Glenn Burden now is his third. They're getting that baby back up and rolling. 35 seconds left in the heat. And, we see a hard hit as Randy Kirtley tries to get to the button in time, but I think he might have got hammered. There was a rider or something, but it was a hard hit. Bo McPherson passes. It was Randy's car. Randy's going to take a strike here. And that'll be his second. Randy Kirtley cannot afford to get these strikes. You rolling home? All right, Gerald. What's that? What's that? 32s. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Wednesday. Yeah, I think we're going to open up, but like I said, if we don't get it by then, we're probably not going to continue it. So hopefully we got at least 7. So yeah, show up. Well, that's 2, but I mean we need 5 more on top of that to keep the lights burning. So yeah, I mean talk to people, send get everybody you can get involved in doing that. Hard body 4.5-inch GRC races, folks. Come on down Wednesday night. We're going to be holding one. And then it'll be our preliminary this coming Wednesday right before Thanksgiving. So definitely come down and check it out. We're trying to get 7 before December. 7 committed. Check our Facebook page. Commit to it. Get on there and join in with these guys. For who? 2. All right. Somebody press the button. See you, Gerald. All right, here we go, folks. Back in the mix. Randy Kirtley hitting the button there. Had to do a little work on his car as it got completely mangled Four red lights are going to drop out to green. But like I said, I mentioned 4.5-inch GRC/FCR hard body class on Wednesdays. Josh Reinerson's wanting to spearhead that, get a bunch of guys going. I told him, I said, if we get 7 committed to run a series and do that, we'll definitely do it. So, you know, we made a post. We need those 7. Let's get those committed on Facebook, guys. Get on there, join in on the fun. Stomp Motor, just like the rookie series, but they're going to be running hard bodies, and they're also going to be running a flexi truck, or not a flexi truck, but a Lexan truck body too. So, uh, 2 races. So definitely get involved in those series. So that'd be Josh Reinerson. That'd be his 3rd. And then we got Jay Latham. That'll be his 1st. Jay Latham's keeping her on there. 3 on black. All right, next we got 3 seconds left to go in this heat. And it's a red flag rotation. Another bloody one for sure, as we've had 3 set out on that one. We'll go ahead and clear those out. And we're going to head over to the track mate, take a look at it. Guillermo Sire in the lead, 123, 17.6 on average. Randy Kirtley, 17 on average, 119. Gabriel Kirtley, 111, 15.9. Josh Reinerson, 15.7, 110. Nathaniel Burden, 97, 13.9. Jay Latham, 84 with 12 on average. Glenn Burden, 63 with 9 on average. And Gunnar Vender, 29 with 4.1 on average. Take you over here. You kind of hear some ambient noise in the background, possibly. But Livermore, Kentucky, 270-278-5999. Subway, Group 20 wing car coming up next. They are a sponsor of Lanes Raceway, and they've offered up $1,000 for the racers also, which we match here at Lanes Raceway for $4,000 total dollar race. As Jay Latham gets the door there for Gerald. Nice of him. Fairview IT Management Cup Series also our sponsor here at Lanes Raceway, and that's what we're racing right now here on the blue track. So if you like what you see, definitely come check us out here at Lanes Raceway, and we'll see you here about a minute and 40 seconds for the final heat of the Fairview IT Management Cup Series on the World's Track. All right, here we go. 2 seconds. We're rolling into the final heat of the Fairview IT Management Cup Series here at Lanes Raceway. 4 red lights are dropping out to green. Jay Latham, he's late to the party. He's coming to get hooked up, though. He was over there on the orange track hanging out. Let's get our first yellow flag here. A car completely turned around in the second corner there. It's going to be Glenn Burden going to take a strike. Glenn Burden's going to take his first strike here. Here we go. 4 red lights dropping out to green. It looks like we got 2 coming out there. Gunner and looks like possibly Glenn again. I don't want to say that until I see the car. But yes, Glenn Burden and Gunner. That would be 2 strikes for Glenn, 1 for Gunner. It has definitely been a lot of wrecks taking place here today. A lot of expression and passion from these racers today. We've had a change in rules. We've had some heated exchanges. We've had some rivalry talk, smack talk here all day long. And it's been tough. But I've not felt good either. My ankle from the other night still hurts. Get a yellow flag here, and that is going to be Glenn Burden. That'll be his 3rd. Glenn, of course, having some trouble there with his NASCAR. And then we see Jay Latham coming off. That'll be Jay's 1st. These guys are running the Mid-America Champion TurboFlex chassis with Ralph Thorne bodies, or they're running the Mid-America NASCAR bodies on the 4-inch chassis with their choice of tires and 3 30-second axle in the rear. As we get another yellow flag here, a couple more people coming up in Lanes Raceway here. So we got Randy Cutton, Candy Kirtley going to take a strike here. Be a strike. 4 red lights are dropping out to green. Ooh, and a nice pass there. A little giveaway there on white. Randy lets Guillermo go by and then just about catches him. So we see another car coming off here. It's going to be Nathaniel Burden going to take a strike here. 1 minute and 8 seconds left in the heat. Another yellow flag in the old danger zone. Jay and Guillermo are going to get in tied up a little bit here. As Jay Latham's going to take his 2nd. Guillermo is going to take his 1st. Gunner has retired as he's over on the orange track right now. Getting a little bit of practice in the Group 20 wing car before we get that started coming up next. I'll be on a different track. So we've been 2 tracks, or 3 tracks in on the blue today. 2 or 3. No, it's 2. So the first track was oval. I get confused in the 4 grams since we run 4 races in one day. So we get a yellow flag here. The car coming off. That's going to be Josh Reinerson taking a strike here. That'll be Josh's 1st. Josh and Gabriel just 1 lap separated from each other. There's been a fierce rivalry between these two and a lot of smack talk all day long. They ended up going to Apex a couple weeks ago together, and I guess they became fast chums. Now they're racing this, racing RC, as Gabriel Kirtley exasperates crazily. Hello, Brantley. For Gabriel? Let me see. That's 1. 1 for Gabe. What's that, buddy? Excuse me. live stream. All right, 4 red lights dropping out. We got 23 seconds left in this heat. The guys will leave their cars on the track. We'll come pick them up, and we'll do our final little checks, and we'll be rolling right into the wing car series. 14 seconds left. Josh and Gabriel over there doing all manners of things. So we see Nathaniel Bird in here going to take a strike, and Josh. So Josh here on yellow going to be his second strike. Nathaniel going to be his second. So a lot of 2 strikes are starting to float around here. 4 red lights dropping out. If you guys are wondering what a strike is, that's just where their car comes off the track and they wreck, and they have to bring it all the way back to the start-finish line. So we get a yellow flag here, and we see Randy Kirtley's car coming off. Randy Kirtley now his second strike. The guys are getting excited here. A lot of laughing, a lot of cutting up. And we see Gabriel Kirtley having an incident. That'll be his second strike. So Gabriel Kirtley there making the worst wreck he possibly could right there before the start finish line. So that gives Josh a chance to possibly catch him. And Josh is on yellow lane, so he's right behind him. Of course, Gabriel Kirtley losing that lap. That's the distance between these two. As we see Josh pushing the limits here, coming around the corner here. Can he make it? He's coming. Oh, it is real close now. We're 2 car lengths from these guys. Both of them on the same lap. 4 seconds left to go. Josh and Gabriel right there on the second to the last turn. The vents have gotten a little bit hot. We see Nathaniel coming off for his third here. And we also see Guillermo coming off for his second, and Jay coming off for his third, which we got to get back to it. Take your looking eyes there to the left on the second to the last corner. This is the race for third position, and it's tight. As Josh Ryerson comes around the back, and he hammers it all the way home. I guess he thought that the time was about to go, so he just let her go, folks. You seen it here. Wow. He's got to check that car out now. I mean, it was a strategy, and if there was a little less time, it might have worked out. But it didn't work out this time, as Josh Ryerson really wanted to get Gabriel. Now, first place, Guillermo Sire, 141 total laps, 17.6 on average. Randy Kirtley, 136.17 on average. And it says Josh Ryerson, but it is actually Gabriel Kirtley as Josh Ryerson slammed into the wall. He had it too, but he held her too long. 15.9, 15.9 for both of them. Gabriel Kirtley's going to take it without destroying his car. Nathaniel Burden there, 112 in 5th position with 14 on average. Jay Latham in 6th there with 98, 12.2 on average. Glenn Burden 65 with 8.1 on average. Gunnar Vender 32 with 4 on average. So coming up next here on the orange, you can see it here. That's our next track we're heading to. And that's going to be for the wing car class, our Subway wing car class out of Livermore, Kentucky. But right now, we're just going to check the back end of everybody's car, make sure they got the stickers, which I'm sure they do. So we're going to go ahead and end the race here. So we're not going to run a resistance check at the end of the race. Everybody passed it at the beginning. We're going to take Guillermo's advice and do that. But we will be checking them at the beginning. Nothing below 0.3, so everybody should be good. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next one. We're coming into the orange track coming up next. Nikki Formosa, great place, had fun. We'll be back. Thank you, Nikki. Actually, you know what? We could probably just go right over to the orange track because we're going to be moving right into this, so we're not actually going to kill the stream. Just bear with us just for a small second while we get some stuff changed over, and we'll be right back with you. All right, guys, going to get some stuff changed over here real quick as we roll over to the orange track now. So let me get that going on here. 1 second. And that will be the road PC. Compliments to Fairview IT Management for doing all this. We do appreciate it. As they've got us remote access and all kinds of other stuff here. So it's really pretty cool how all that works. As we now have the orange track here in view. And it looks like it's a little off kilter here. So let me go ahead and fix that while we got a chance. All right, so there's that. I promise you it will come into view here a little bit better just in a second. My wife right now, you can see her entering the names in on the orange track. And this is live. So what you're seeing here next to the strike is the same thing that's on their TV that the guys see. It's all linked together here at Lanes Raceway. We got some kind of HDMI things going. I mean, I could go into big detail if you needed us to. Speaking of that, I need to get Dad to tell me how he made the RC track. I got a guy in our messenger. I told him I was going to get him to go in further details. Because you've got to cut it with the angle in mind so that whenever you pull it together in 3 pieces, it's a lot of math. I'm not good with math. And then on top of that, you have to add like a little circle piece too to it, just to make sure that it's 4 foot. Because once you pull that out of it, then you end up losing that top section and you have to add to it. So that was kind of a pain, and Dad really did it all here for Lanes Raceway and the guys, and he did it for free. And the guys love it. So, we've tested it. For those that are wanting to know about the RC track, let me see if I can get it pulled up real quick here. I might actually be able to show you guys. Give me 1 second here. And click this here and shut that down. And we might have it on another, that's outside. I know I got some other cameras here. So let's just go through them. Okay, so here's our RC track right here. You can see it. And this is made with the MDF board. He made it all and everything, and then we pulled it together with a come along. And then, but the paint that we use, so we used latex paint. I put 2 coats on it, and I used a 1/2-inch nap roller to give it some texture. And then once I gave it the texture, the cars really did come alive and start gripping pretty hardcore, and that's what we want, is for the cars to grip enough that they can control the car. And then on top of that, then I took another, like what do you call it, a pretty brush or whatever, a texture brush, and I made the cushion, so you can see the darker brown there for the cushion for the track, because we're going to be running 1RC dirt cars on it. Now we're also going to be running like asphalt type cars and stuff too, but we painted it up to look like a dirt track. We got some decals and stuff coming from Sign Pros out of Owensboro, Kentucky, from Jamie Fulcher. He's going to be racing down here with us and stuff too. But a bunch of the RC guys are already starting to pile up back there in the corner next to Gabe. I think they're going to, you can see them there to the left. And I think they're getting ready to run a race after we get done with this. So they're pretty excited for that. But we got to get back to the 4 crowns, guys. Not to get you off topic, not to get you so hyped up on the RC, which is a big thing here right now. We got to get back over here to the orange track, because we see the guys getting their wing cars loaded up, locked and loaded. Chat is live if you guys want to chat. I can see it now. We got it set through Restream IO. I think I can see everything except for probably Twitch. Like right now, I'm getting Facebook and YouTube pretty good. I'm not saying I'm not getting Twitch, but anyways, I may or may not be getting Twitch. But we see all of our racers getting cooked up. So let's just go over the lineup here. Glenn Burden in red, Nathaniel Burden in white, Jay Latham in green, Guillermo Sire on orange, Randy Kirtley on blue, Gabriel Kirtley on yellow, Josh Reinerson on purple, and Gunnar Vender on black. It's also a good time to let me do some stuff here real quick. And we'll go ahead and try to bring some of this over to the orange track here, because it is the Group 20 Subway of Livermore race. Jackson, you're crazy, man. So all I'm doing is robbing some stuff off of this picture. So during the whole race, you guys will be able to see our sponsor for the Four Crowns here, which is Subway out of Livermore, Kentucky. Now we have that phone number for you to give them a shout there in the bottom left. And also we need to come over here and let you know what series it is. So I gotta find it right here. And then we'll be ready to run this race. Thank you, Glenn. I'll get right on it. So Glenn brings up a good point here. I'll be right back, guys. I got to get this going for these guys. I forgot to reset their work clock. So let me get that set here. It looks like everybody else is starting to get hooked up and they're ready to go. So as soon as I get this reset and they got their clock going, they're using it. I love it. You know, we got this and they're actually using a button and keeping each other on the up and up. I hope I don't lose another one of these remotes. All right, walking all the way around to the orange track. Brantley in a dead sprint. That's a good looking body there, Jason. I need to contact the guy that painted that. He did a good job. Oh, sorry. All right. The guys are getting tired on me. As we got another race left to go here in the Four Crowns, and they're by the cold door too. So that's going to change a lot of track things are going to take place. I don't know. It could be for the good, could be for the bad. We're just going to sit here and wait. I didn't know I had the remote sitting here on the counter, so that would have been beneficial to say the least. All right, here we go. All the racers ready. All right, the racers are not ready. As you can see, Glenn Burden there shaking his head. Livermore, Kentucky Subway Group 20 wing car race about to commence. Racers are ready. I'm getting a thumbs up from Jackson to track marshal. Here we go. Watch your lights. And we're underway. Lanes Raceway. Playing Nikki Formosa. Nikki Formosa. It was fun getting to know you, Nikki. Hope we do see each other again soon. That was my wife, of course, responding to Nikki. We responded to him in the previous race. 1 second, folks. I got a question here from somebody. I love questions like that, folks. So Brantley, he's all excited. He says, "Can I go help track marshal?" Yes, you can. We love track marshals. Anytime you guys want to come here, even if you don't want to race, you want to track marshal? Yes is the answer. Please do. Right now, Randy Kirtley in the lead as we see purple and yellow going to get strikes here. And we're back to the orange track. As we get a car coming off of the donut portion of the track and a yellow flag again. Jackson Darty there with his hands to collect a strike on orange to ensue. 4 red lights are dropping out to green. We're going racing again. And what you're seeing is live, so as you can see, we're not fudging anything. It's another car coming off the track down there underneath the high banks. Brantley's little body going to grab that. We're seeing another strike here on orange, so we'll go ahead and get that collected here. That'll be the second strike for orange, which is Guillermo Sire. Coming off of a win there, Guillermo not doing too hot with the wing cars. We see several guys at the end of the high banks there working on getting their cars fixed up there. Gabriel Kirtley going to go ahead and get a car set here on yellow. So yellow is going to receive a strike here. We'll go ahead and get that. That'll be yellow's second too. So some really rough stuff. Purple too, also receiving a strike. That'll be purple's second strike. So we already got 3 guys with 2 strikes. Orange, yellow, purple, and black. It looks like black took one too. So black now with a strike. A brutal first heat, to say the very least. Jackson, are you going to track Marshall and help Brantley? I know, it does look like a war zone over there. All right, we're back racing already. Another war zone's happened. A guy gets back on the track, and two cars coming off in the donut. Let's see who they are. Orange, that's 3. So it'll be 3 strikes there for Guillermo. And another yellow flag. Who's this going to be? If it's yellow or purple, it's 3. So it's Josh Reinerson. That'll be 3. A rough start to this race already. And this is a double feature, folks. So we're coming off of the blue track with the 72 pitch right into a double feature here this week on the orange for the Group 20 wing car. And that looks like Gabriel Kirtley coming off. That'll be his 3rd strike too. So he's coming off too. Brutal first heat, folks. Minute and 35 seconds left to go. And I won't say that that'll be the end of their Group 20 experience this week, because there's still so much more racing left to be done. But starting out with 3 already getting cooked to the... We got stuff falling all over the place. Glenn Burden coming around there. He's got a car in his hand. I think that might be Black Lane. I'm not for sure, but we will find out shortly. It is Black Lane, so we're going to get Black. That's Black's 2nd strike. So Glenn saying the Braves were up a little bit there. 4 red lights dropping out to green. Here we go, folks. You can see how fast these wing cars are. They are Group 20 Cofered wing cars. Let's get a yellow flag here. Car coming up off of green. And looks like another car coming off the backstretch. That's going to be Gunner's 3rd strike here. So brutal for several racers here already. See, back up the high banks here, we're going to see Blue Lane taking a strike here. That'll be their 1st. So Randy Kirtley, our current leader, now taking a hit. Nathaniel Burden and Glenn Burden in 2nd. Faring a whole lot better than the previous race, is Randy Kirtley there, also in 1st place with 12 total laps. We kind of focus in here is a little bit over acceleration coming out of the donut causes a wreck and involves 2 here through the S portion of the track. Brantley, of course, grabbing those cars and going to get them set down. Now it's going to be a strike for white and a strike for green. So Nathaniel's 1st and Jay's 1st. Both of them keeping their cars on pretty good. That's what you want to see. 4 red lights dropping out to green. Here we go. Looks like, okay. So we had to slide down on the car. So that will not count as a strike because it was a slide down. It happens sometimes. In other words, the track got called off and his car leaned out because of track call, but he didn't actually wreck there, folks. That, believe it or not, that high bank's about 45 degrees. As we see a car coming off hard up into the high banks there, we see Jackson Darty grabbing it to bring it around. And that's going to be on green lane. Now that'll be Green's 2nd strike, so Jay's going to have to kind of pipe her down a smidge to make it through the rest of this 53 seconds. But it is full-blown debacle here already with the Group 20 wing car. So we see Gabriel and Guillermo having a little conversation at the end of the high banks. Both of them setting out currently here, having some issues going into the wing car on the orange. Now, it's a bank track, so it's a little bit different than what we have been running on the flat track. The flat track, the guys have gotten used to trying to take those flat corners, so it should help them in this because they're able to take those flat corners a little bit better because that's all they've been taking all night long. So they're not going to be as struggling as bad through Dead Man's Corner and through the S's and around the horseshoe for that reason. But the high speed is what's going to get them on this. The high speed of the Group 20 Subway Livermore, Kentucky wing car is just going to rip them apart if they ain't really paying close to their braking points. Now we're getting a cluster here. It's usually when we see trouble is whenever the eyes start playing tricks on you and you're in a cluster, and that's where we usually see people have issues. But these guys are making it out like a couple pros here, like they've been running the orange track their whole lives. Some of them have. As we head over here to the strikes and we clear out that brutal first heat, maybe the guys will be coming back and have a little bit of what to say come next. Randy Kirtley, 35 laps in the lead, making an impressive 35 laps. 30 laps for Nathaniel in second, keeping that baby on yet again this week. 29 for Glenn Burden, 28 for Jay Latham. 8 for Gunner, 3 for Gabriel, Josh 2, and Guillermo 2. So there might be a battle for the bottom 4 and a battle for the top 4. We'll just have to wait and see how things progress. We're going to take it over here to the oval so you can watch these guys work a little bit, and we'll be right back with you. All right, a little view of the RC track there. We see Guillermo Sire there, and we also see Gunner there playing with it a little bit. And we see a little powwow taking place over there at the RC track. Gabriel Kirtley, Josh Reinerson having a little talk. 1 minute and 43 seconds before we go back. Weston Durham, hey Don. Hey Wes. What's his name right now? What's his username? I can't see that. Well, get up. I don't want to get in front of you, buddy. Hey Don. Hey guys. That's what I say always. Hey Donnie, hey Don. What's up, man? So we can see 4 guys equally spaced apart here coming back in off of a brutal first heat. Minute and 12 seconds before we go back green racing. And it's been a rough one. It's been a rough one to say the very least. Yes or no? Yes, no, but as you can see, there's a few flat corners that you can take a look at. Like this first corner is a horseshoe, and the last corner of this track also is a horseshoe. And of course now I got the RC track there, sorry. But on the front, you can see the last corner coming into the backstretch, and the first corner is a horseshoe. So that helps these guys a lot whenever you are coming around the horseshoe here, the last corner coming around the horseshoe. Not to mention the flat surface through the S turn and a semi-flat surface coming out of the donut there. So, you know, it should be a whole lot easier to drive the orange today versus last week, just simply because we've had so much flat track practice. The guys are a little more timid behind the trigger, and it's able to let them get around those corners. Now, you're definitely not going to be turning any top lap times, being that this is being ran like this, because people are going to be a little bit more conservative, but they will be, I would guess, a little bit more consistent when it comes to keeping their cars on. Now, after the first heat, we did have 4 people come out, but those could be wing car issues that they're having here, trying to keep up with everybody else. Let's get a yellow flag here through the S portion. We see Brantley coming around there, grabbing a car. But I'd had it planned. The guys had changed and didn't want it, so we wasn't going to do it. But I had it planned to run 1 week on the orange with this class and 1 week on the blue, but they did not want to do it on the blue at all. So here we are. We're on the orange. And the orange definitely does need a little TLC, as it's been moved twice. Uh, and, with it being moved twice, there is issues that ensue here. Uh, having to re-put the braids and it being that close to the door too. So blue and black going to receive strikes here. And being that close to the door, you got humidity changes, cool weather, all of that, and it plays havoc on braid. So uh, we do the best we can. We tried some 3M tape, was hoping that was going to hold it a lot better versus gluing it, and it does in certain ways, but in other ways, it does hurt it. So what really needs to happen is all the braid needs to be pulled up. It needs to be re-braided. As the braid on it's 24 years old. We've been running it down in the basement since I was a kid. Orange lane's going to take a strike. I don't know what we're waiting on here. A lot of these guys too also getting quite tired, as this is our last race of the day and our fastest car for sure. Something that takes getting used to. So we get another yellow flag in the car hard off into the outer wall over there, and another car underneath the bridge here. Thankfully, Brantley's little arms can get up in there and get that. So yellow. Yellow's definitely getting a strike. That'll be their first. And Brian's looking at a car. Randy's also looking at it. Jackson, you care to get me a water, dude? Thank you. So somebody's hitting the button. Red flag condition here currently. I'm doing a lot of talking today, so my throat's getting a little bit raw. Right now we see at the end of the high banks, Randy, Brian, and Josh looking over a car, as it's about a minute and 30 seconds we're looking at here of trying to figure out what's going on with this car. They've hit the button. When that siren goes off here in a minute, they'll hit the go button, will go, but they're trying to see what's going on with it. And I will definitely need to know what lane it's going on. As we see white lane here. So they're bringing it around here. We see Brian, he's quick about it. He's going to get it on black lane. So we'll give black a strike. That'll be their second. And Brantley, he's rolling around here. He loves track marshalling. I appreciate Brantley for track marshalling. Full red lights dropping out to green and a stalled car there on red. Yeah, so they're going to give him a push. Sometimes these wing cars, man, they get stalled if the guys don't have them. All right, what's going on here? We're fixing to probably move this to the blue track. This track here is just, the wing cars just can't do it on here right now with this braid. What had happened is we'd had several racers that shouldn't be messing with the track, but when we got real busy, we allowed it to happen. Two strikes there. And they just really don't know how to glue tracks, and it's happened where they filled the track up and put glue on top of the braid and everything else. And when I get a chance to do it, you just put a little bit. That's all you really need to do. And then there's, I'm not trying to blame any one individual or put it all on myself at all either, but, it's a communicative error on the part of the orange track, and it started day one at lanes one when they were running the long JK guide flags, and it tore the track all to hell. Those JK guide flags did, pardon my language, but it was a very interesting, probably week and a half of arguing. And they was like, there's stuff in the track. I was like, man, we just moved it from the basement to here. We've been racing on it. There ain't nothing in that track. And then eventually they did find, I was like, it's the guide flag. It's the guide flag. And they didn't listen to me, didn't listen to me, didn't listen to me. Well, by the time they did listen to me, and I showed it to them a million times, well, then the track was already destroyed. And then They tried to put super glue in the wood and tried to harden it up. And like I said, it just needs to be taken apart. It needs to be ran through. And we had planned that to do that when we came down here. We were going to put it off limits and run everything on the blue track. But that ain't how it went. Everybody wants to still run on it. So, we're stuck in a weird spot here. White and orange definitely getting strikes here. White, orange, green, and yellow. All right. A lot of two strikers here. Right now, two strike white, one strike green, two strike orange, two strike blue, two strike yellow, two strike black. Minute and 30 seconds left in the heat. So sensitivity, is not really going to come to be a big factor with these Group 20s. They're really, really close to being some of the fastest wing cars. So you're full throttled and you're not. You're full throttled and you're not, because the triggers really don't activate till the end portion of the controller. And being this is a light glued track, you really got to drive these cars, and it's rough because it's just rough. I'll just put it that way. Red, and I would say really group 12 would probably be about all this track once, but the guys are always wanting to push it to the limits. And when you push it to the limits, this is what you get. Group 20. Now, we're not going to be able to run Group 27, Group 7 on no tiny old 90-foot micro orange. So Group 20 is it. Plus, not everybody has a 280, 281 DeFalco controller to be able to run these cars. As we get a big hit up underneath the donut portion of the track, probably collected a few of them here as Brantley's grabbing a couple cars here, one on the back stretch here. We see Gabriel Kirtley, he's rolling out, so we know he's got 3 strikes. So that'd be the 3rd strike on orange for him. And it looks like Josh, too, is also rolled out, so that'd be 3 strikes on black. And I guess those were the only 2 involved in the incident. So the rivals are now out, because Josh and Gabriel have been rivaling all day long. But it is another checkerboard of red, to say the very least. It's a round robin, 2 of 8, 45 seconds left in the heat. Oh, and that right there was just a victim of circumstances. 2 cars were involved in a little bit of swashbuckling there, a little back and forth. So green and blue going to take a strike. So blue will be 3. So Jay already ahead of me on that. As we see Brian now lifting up those cars. So we're good to go. Here are 37 seconds left in the heat. See Brantley taking a look under the bridge, seeing if there's anybody there. Car smoothing out a little bit here now, taking her time through the S turns. What you got to do? Oh, and a little bit of back and forth as white collects red there. Guillermo Sire hits Nathaniel. Now it'll be Nathaniel's 2nd strike. But that's just good close racing there. So right now we got 3 out this heat and 18 seconds left to go. As we see a car popping out, it looks like they're on red lane. Who wrecked? That's y'all's call. Y'all know the rules though. You hit the button, you're out. So I don't know. It's like I said, this messes with the rules. All of this does. You know me. I'm a rule keeper, Jackie.
Oh, I know you are, Mister. I'm a good Samaritan citizen.
I mean, technically he should came off because he hit the button, but you know the guys let him stay on. That's, I mean, it's going to be on all those guys that let him stay in, not me. Now they say it's the track issue, but he made it fine that time. So I mean, I don't know if it's a glue issue or if it's a setup issue. Because if you don't set your guide flag down in that recess, because this is a recess track, it's not flat like the flat track. In other words, the braid's not level with the upper portion of the track. So if you don't set your guide flag down into that, you can technically rock out right there. And if you rock out, then and it catches just a little bit on the guide flag, because that's a tight corner on red, then that one braid won't touch. And if that one braid don't touch, you don't got continuity. So, like I said, me personally, if I was a racer, I'd have said he hit the button. But that's just me. I mean, nothing against Nathaniel or nothing against any racer for that matter. But I'm just saying, uh, have your stuff set up. Plenty of people can make it. Other people can't. Nonetheless, here we go. 2 minutes and 31 seconds. We'll be back green racing. All right, here we go. 5 seconds before we go back. Livermore, Kentucky Subway, 278-5999, area code 270. Call in and order. Get you a Subway sandwich. They are Subway Group 20 wing car here at Lanes Raceway. Um, they are a sponsor for the Four Crowns, giving us $1,000 to the racers to split in the purse. So we're excited for the guys to get that. Also, we'll have T-shirts made for them, and we're going to have a good old banquet. I think April really wants to have like a really, really nice banquet for the guys. So excited about that too. But Jackson Darty, by the way, Don, I know him personally. Yeah, I know you know Jack. He's your cousin. Weston is your cousin, so yes, I know you know him personally. Here we go. Red Lane getting a strike. As you can see, the tired eyes are starting to roll in here a little bit for me and the racers. Strike there on orange also. It's a lot of racing, guys. It's just like big car racing. Whenever you're doing this much slot car racing, it is very, very taxing on the eyes, the mind, the brain, and everything. And getting used to doing 4 races versus 3 is big. We're asking a lot of these guys, so they will deserve that 4,000 purse that they're racing for here in the 4 crowns annually here. Uh, wonder, can do you have to be a superstar, a superhero to get in the 4 crowns? No, no, you don't. You only have to run one of the 4 series here at Lanes Raceway before the 4 crowns starts to enter in. When you And if you do that, you can enter into the 4 crowns at the end of the year. It's our only cash paying series here at Lanes Raceway, and we do pay in $100 bills to these racers. Plus, we got check trophies for them, and of course, we also have those big, beautiful crowns that they get to wear. And they get to go to a banquet and have a good time. I think this banquet here is going to be Subway, of course. Uh, and we're thankful for Subway next door. Our guys actually have somewhere they can go to eat. We don't have any food here in Lanes Raceway, guys. We don't. I mean, we got soft drinks, but food, no. We are not a food establishment. You know, a lot of people thinks it would be pretty cool, but as busy as I stay just dealing with slot cars, I don't think I'd have the time to deal with food too. Orange, yellow, and black getting strikes. But it has been tossed around a few times about that sort of thing. I think they're all starting to understand now. It's probably just about time to rebraid this track. So we need to shut her down for a couple weeks and get that happening. So if you are interested in rebraiding the track, come on down, help us out, free of charge. We can't afford to give you any money to do it. Copper is not cheap, by the way, folks. Just letting you know. But I do have two, I think 5,000 foot rolls. So I think we got enough to rebraid it. And if we did that, I think we'd be in good shape. And it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and route it a little bit too from all the excess glue that people's put in and stuff like that too. Let's get another yellow flag here. Good strikes. Good. And he said he wanted a strike. I will give him a strike. I love to freely give out strikes. Like I said, he's going to come off there. Does he want to strike this time? I guess not. So he didn't really want that other strike. So we'll just count this one. A lot of issues with the donuts here with these wing cars. I don't think it's really a braid issue. Like I said, I just don't think the wing cars are set up. But nobody really has time to set these cars up, and that's the issue we're running into. So this is what happens when everybody gives people leeway and all this. It all gets confusing. It confuses me, and now I don't know who to give strikes to and who not to. So here I am, like only giving strikes to the people that put their car back at the start-finish line. And it robs me of my power to run a successful race here, and also makes the orange track look bad. So at the end of the day, what do you do? It's been my sentiment since the very beginning that this track needs to be worked on. Don't get me wrong, guys. This track's a good track if you're not yellow. You want to give him a strike, guys? Or y'all want to let him not have a strike? I know, but I'm saying we're having a lot of people getting strikes and some people not getting strikes. I don't know who to give strikes to. It would be your third if you're on yellow. But what I'm trying to say is we got people coming off in the donut, people not moving in the donut. They're not putting the cars back after hitting the button. You know, I put strikes when they go back to the start finish line. I appreciate that, Josh. You're helping me by doing that. Just remember, guys, rules are rules for a reason. If you hit the button, it's a strike. Well, what needs to happen needs to be rebraided, like I said from the beginning. It can't always be my fault, guys. This class actually, fellas, was supposed to be ran on the blue track. Just letting everybody know that. This one. Yeah, this wing car class is supposed to run on the flat track. I got outvoted, so that, I mean, it is what it is. But if I get outvoted and there's issues with the tracks, which we knew, people need the strikes. That's just how it is. Yeah. Looks like two coming off here. And a red flag rotation. Clearing the strikes yet again. And we'll take a look here at the track mate. Randy Kirtley in the lead, 108 laps, 36 on average. Glenn Burden 90 with 30 on average. 88 for Nathaniel in third place with 88 on average. Jay Latham 79, 26.3 on average. Gunnar Vender 67 laps, 22.3 on average. Guillermo Sire 50 with 16.7 on average. 50 laps for Gabriel, 16.7 on average. Josh Reinerson 36 with 12 on average. All right, folks, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. We'll be right back with you. All right, here we go. A minute and 8 seconds before we go back. See you, Guillermo. Guillermo Sire going to retire and head his way to the house. Of course, Guillermo. Okay. All right. So Guillermo right now, it's got him a long trip ahead, and this happens often with Guillermo trying to make it back home. So he's not fared too well in the wing car race here this week. So he's going to load up and head on out. We appreciate Guillermo Sire here. But I think it's under consensus here. We've talked to the guys for the next couple of weeks till we get this orange track rebraided. I think they're going to be racing the wing car on the blue track, our new track here at Lanes Raceway. It's going to be tough for them, but I think they can do it. If they can run flexi, they can definitely run a wing car. They may have to load it up with weight to keep it on the track, but at least they can make it when the track button gets turned on, they'll actually take off. Because what the issue is happening right here, folks, if you don't know, right there in the donut, right there in the horseshoe, right there in the S turn, those JK flags ate up that whole track. So at the beginning, there was filled with super glue to harden up the wood. It's soaked through the braid. When it's soaked through the braid, it's turned the braid black. It's non-conductive. So when that happens, when the track gets shut off, people's cars don't move, and we have all these issues with these lightweight cars. Now, if they're heavier cars, they end up getting a little bit of connection and go on and going. But it's been needing to be done for a while here. So Glenn Burden heading back to his station. We're about to go racing, and let's see if we can limp through this thing. All right, racers, watch your lights. But in the meantime, especially while we're running this race, we stick with the rules. If it happens, it happens. If you have to hit the track button. Now, if you don't hit the track button, you go over and pick it up, put it back on. I'm good with that. But if you hit the track button, it's just the rules. I don't want to break the rules. Evidently, I'm the bad guy this past couple of weeks because I've been keeping the rules. But I mean, that's just the case, guys. You want to run a good, successful race, you got to keep the rules. All right, so orange not getting a strike, but white and green, or white and blue getting strikes. No, I'm shutting it down. Four red lights are dropping out to green, or y'all can stay here as long as the government's got the lights on. But I'm leaving after this. I've had a long day. 1 minute and 39 seconds here left in the heat. We're about halfway through this race as we get a car coming off of the horseshoe portion of the track. So it looks like Jay's hit the button there, but we do know purple's going to get a strike here. So Jay Latham also going to get a strike there on black. But he's got 1 minute and 20 seconds to fix his car as he's hit the button. I can hear the siren. And he's got to get him a gear, and then he'll get it fixed up, and we'll get back underway. Oh, you're cooking? All right, cool. All right, so Jay's already got his strike there on black. Four red lights are dropping out to green. And we're heading back racing. Livermore Kentucky Subway is your sponsor for the Group 20 wing car race. 270-278-5999. Give them a call, order you a sub. Yellow flag call. Gunner taking off running, go to grab a car. As we see another button pressed, possibly Jay again. Red lane's going to receive a strike here. And then I think it's Jay again. I'm not going to hold it to truth. I see Jay over there with Brian. But it looks like Jay has just opted to go work on his car on his own or something. I don't know what's going on here. He's got 2 track calls he can do. So we see another car come off here. I guess he opted not to hit it for the second time. White Lane is going to take a strike here. That's their second. Get a yellow flag here. We got 3 cars coming off on the right side over here. Or maybe 2. Gunner's going to grab it. That's going to be a strike on orange. They're first. And white gives red the shunt there. So that'll be a second strike for red. I guess white came off. So that'd be Gunner's third strike. And Brantley running across the screen there. Or, well, running across my screen. And a yellow flag for Trevor Kirtley, going to be his third strike there on red lane. As we are down now to 4 racers here in the final race. Round robin 4 of 8. Randy Kirtley in the lead, 131 laps. Glenn Burton 110. Nathaniel 109. And Jay Latham 87. Oh, and a side-by-side contact coming down the backstretch. And that's going to be blue lane second. And it looks like black lane going to receive a strike. That'd be Jay's second. Two cars getting involved in an incident there in the donut portion of the track. 2 seconds left in the heat. A strike there for orange. That'll be their second. And a strike for purple, which will be their second. And a red flag rotation. So we're going to go ahead and clear up all of these strikes. And we're going to take a look here at the track mate. Randy Kirtley in first, 145, 123, Glenn Burton, 121, Nathaniel for your top 3. We'll be right back with you. 155. Here we go, folks. Randy Kirtley in the lead. 147. Glenn Burden 125. 123. Nathaniel. Jay Latham 96. 80 for Gunner. 70 for Josh. Gabriel 65. Of course, Guillermo. He's heading back to his house. So 4 red lights are dropping out to green. Here we go. Got a rider, and I'm not for sure, but somebody must have came off, and I don't know who it was, so I missed one of these strikes early on. I was sitting talking to Brian. When you run these things, you literally have no time to talk to anybody all day, because if you do, these guys wreck, and then you missed a strike. So hopefully the guys are going to be honest this round, because I know I missed at least the first wreck because I didn't get that in the strike system. But it's what it is. I'm human. So we see a car coming off here. And we see Josh pulling his car, so he's going to be done. Everybody's sour about the track. That's why I wanted to shut it down when we first got here, because I knew this was going to happen. Nonetheless, I'm only one man, one voice. So it will get fixed. Yellow lane. Hopefully my headset's back up and running. Ever since that sawdust got released up in here, that headset has not worked since. I spent a lot of money on this headset too. Got another car popping off there in the horseshoe portion of the track. But those that know us know that me, my wife, and my dad have been down here every single day. There's no day off since we've opened. We've been down here every day. And I'm not talking like just coming down here at like, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, staying till like 9 or something. But I'm talking like all day long, because there's just so many fires to put out here right now. And trying to get the RC and stuff up and running too. And, you know, while we're still running races, people are like, hey, we need to do this, need to do this, and you end up doing that. So you have little small projects. Then there's day-to-day work too that's involved too. Nobody really cares. But at the end of the day, that's why some of this stuff is just not getting done. It's because there's only one of me, there's only one of her, there's only one of my dad. So, you know, it'll get done when it gets done. And, hopefully the guys will stick with us until it does. As we see a couple guys getting pulled off. I don't even know who is off, but it looks like Glenn. So Glenn's going to grab his car and come back. But just like you're watching this on the live stream, I'm watching it the same way you're watching. I don't hear what the guys are saying or anything like that. I got a headset on to be able to hear what's coming out of the microphone, and it's hard to hear. So I don't know a lot of the times who's coming off. So you'll see a lot of 2 strikes, but they're actually 3 strikes if people are off. But as you can see, the track's like not unrunnable. It's just If you land in a certain spot where the glue's been played heavily, and somehow or another it's got blamed on me, but whatever. Sometimes you just get frustrated, you get tired of dealing with it. It's hard to be happy all the time. Red. That's 2. I did miss the very first wreck, so I don't know who wrecked the very first time because I was talking to you, remember? So whoever wrecked the first time, if you were on red, you got 3. If not, you don't. I mean, and that's red flag rotation. We'll go over the strikes and clear them out. Get ready for the next round. I'll leave it on the track, mate, and I'll be right back with you. 2/3 of the way through the race here. 5 seconds before we go back green racing. 4 red lights dropping out to green. Livermore, Kentucky, Subway, 270-278-5999. Group 20 Wing Car Series here at Lanes Raceway. They're sponsoring these racers. $1,000. for the purse. So we see two cars coming off here. Blue lane and red lane going to take strikes. Green lane going to get a strike. Strike for red. That'll be their second. And orange getting a strike. Green lane's getting two strikes. And orange got a strike. So red, green, and orange now two strikes. That sounds like a hard hit. Looks like Gunner's going to be out. He's having a hard road in all the series tonight. We see red lane take their third strike there. Josh Reinerson coming off of the S turn there. That S turn is tricky for the wing cars because if you stay in the accelerator, they're so light they'll just go straight versus a flexi car that can actually rotate around that a little bit better. It's a hard thing to learn for sure. It's been a yellow flag. 39 seconds left. 41 seconds left in the heat as the software catches up. And we got another guy coming off. It's starting to get quite cold here in Lanes Raceway now. And that's Jay Latham. And that'll be his third strike also. You going? You leaving?
Or maybe.
Oh. Get a strike there for Blue Lane. That'll be their second. And that's a red flag rotation in round robin heat 6. It was a long one, folks. And of course, guys not being able to get the rhythms they need, it's really rough. Randy Kirtley, 219 out in the lead. He's just beating everybody pretty badly. Nathaniel Burden, 191 in second. Glenn Burden, 171 there in third. 136 there for Gabriel Kirtley. 129 for Jay Latham. 117 for Gunner. Josh Ryerson, 79 and 50 for Guillermo. We'll be right back with you here in about a minute and 50 seconds. All right, 4 red lights dropping out to green, folks. We're in the second to the last heat here. Randy Kirtley out into a demanding lead here as we get our first yellow flag. Jackson, go track marshal. Green lane's going to get a strike there. Jackson, get on the other side of the donut. All right, 4 red lights dropping out to green right now. Blue lane going to get a strike. See another yellow flag here, and it looks like a car possibly off the track as we see Brantley on the ground. And that's going to be a strike on yellow. So blue and purple going to get a strike. And red lane's going to get a strike. And that's 2 for green. It's just really draining when you know that your racers are not happy. White lane's going to take a strike. I like it when the guys are having a good time and when they're not, and I can just see that they're not. It just, whole thing runs through my mind is like, what can I do? Orange getting a strike there. See white lane there getting a strike. That'll be their second. And purple getting a strike. That'll be their second. Quick moves there by Gunner getting his car put back on. Pretty good move. Keep from hitting the track button. Let's get a yellow flag here. Another car off in the donut. That's going to be on green lane. That's green's third. Yeah, they ain't even listening to me now. All right, I guess I'm done, folks. Test. All right, guys. Pretty much the end of that heat there. Looks like it's down to maybe 2 people. So there's going to be one more heat. I will not commentate the last heat, but we will see you guys next week. Hopefully by then we'll have a different game plan for this class here. And something else to work on. There's the end of the heat there. I'm going to leave it on the high banks. Thank you guys for watching. God bless you. I'll see you next week.